All right, welcome back to our podcast, guys. It's been quite a long time since we filmed.
It's been a while.
I looked at my YouTube page, and it was like 9 months ago where we filmed our last episode. So
yeah, I haven't even posted anything to social media since October.
Yeah, so we got to get back on track. But what a better way to do it than in 2026. We're still in the first week or so. So yeah, let's get straight to it, man. So
what do you think? What do you think of the new setup?
Wow. It's really nice. I can't wait to film all the next episodes up in here, man. I'm excited for the future here.
Yeah, so we're in in my new office at home.
Well, congratulations. You purchased the house in November.
Man. Yeah, that's probably the big news of 2026 is the new crib. It was just time, man. We outgrew the other one, and I feel very blessed, man. You too, though.
Yeah,
at the end of the year.
It was a crazy. That's probably why we didn't film a podcast. We had a lot of personal stuff going on.
Let's actually start right there. Before we even get into the notes, all right. Let's talk about your personal experience in buying a home, what you saw, what you can give back from your personal experience.
Yeah, I mean, from my experiences, obviously I'm a licensed realtor, and
you represented yourself, right?
I represented myself, and so I got that question a lot, like, did you have to hire somebody to help you or this and that? And I was like, no, I represented myself, and I really, really enjoyed being the one going through the process, because I've helped various clients go through it, and it's you're guiding them, but when you actually go through it yourself, it's fun. Yeah. It can be exciting. It can be stressful from that perspective. But once you get to the closing table and you sign the papers for your own home, it's a different feeling. You kind of black out too while you're there, and when you're talking to the title people, it's a really special experience. I always show up to my clients' closings. For sure, yeah. And being on my own, I was like, dang, this is crazy. Me being able to do this was cool. And yeah, I've been there for a while, 3 months now, and I love it. Yeah.
And you got everything done now at this point, right? You've already done landscaping. You've already done everything.
Yeah, so we purchased a CBH home, and at that time, they had some really awesome seller credits. Mm-hmm. And I always encourage people that if you're a first-time home buyer, repeat buyer, that if you don't mind living in a new construction, take advantage of these builder incentives, because we got up to $25,000 at the price point that we were looking at. We were able to cover washer and dryer, refrigerator, various other items, the vinyl fencing around the backyard perimeter, and
you were able to do all those things within the seller credit?
Yes.
Nice.
But outside of that, we did our own landscaping, because we have some family ties that do. They have a landscaping company, and then I also have a family. My family does painting, so they painted my garage. So we've done a lot of projects, but being a homeowner is fun, because once you do one project, then you think about another one that you want to do, and you're like, damn, I always want to be doing stuff.
For sure. I haven't stopped working around here since we moved in.
I know you have, but yeah, that's been my experience. It's been awesome so far, and I can't wait for what's next. But what about you? I know you just I
did a slightly different route with my seller credit. I mean, we didn't choose as many extras or add-ons. We did to get the fence, but we negotiated the fence outside of the seller credit, actually, so we didn't use our seller credit for it. And then we got some appliances, we got the refrigerator, and we got blinds. But then everything else, we used it to cover closing costs and buy down the rate, and we were able to secure a super low rate on a conventional loan, because we were also able to put 20% down, so we were able to get no mortgage insurance. So really I was a little bit against living in a brand new neighborhood like this too, because I like my space. I like to live a little bit outside of town, but this fit the best of both worlds. We are a little bit outside of town. All of the lots in this neighborhood are 0.28 acres, so they're all relatively decent size. I feel like we got some space from the neighbors, and CBH really made it so streamlined to be able to use $30,000 seller credit to be able to cover closing costs, buy down my rate significantly, and end up with a monthly payment that we were happy with.
So as a lender, how was that experience? Because when you purchased your first house, you weren't a lender yet. So what was that experience like? Because you understand the business at this point. So what was that like?
Yeah, I got my first mortgage through Dave Perry at Academy Mortgage. Shout out Dave. What's up, Dave? I haven't talked to Dave in forever, but now that I'm a lender, I can't do my own loan. So it's not like you guys, when you guys can represent yourself or whatever. I don't even pass to somebody in my office. I would typically just kick it over to Bryson, you know what I mean? That would make the most sense. But from a lending standpoint, they just want to make sure that things are on the up and up, and that you're doing everything the right way. So we actually send it off to the concierge desk. The concierge desk is somebody that we can use who's licensed in every single state. So the great thing about Synergy is even though I don't hold a license in all 50 states, and actually it's actually like 49 states because nobody lends in New York. But I'm able to lend in all states because we can use the concierge desk. And so my personal loan had to go through the concierge desk. So we sent it off to Michael Cooper, and he took care of business, bro. And for me, it was a streamlined process all the way, because the hardest part about putting a loan together is usually like the friction between you and the client, collecting docs up front, making sure you have docs that are clean, not docs that are like sent in a text message of a picture of a pay stub or whatever. Like, because I'm a lender, I already know what's going to be needed, so my file was clean from the get-go. I mean, I don't think I came back with any conditions. I was like a clear to close on the first submission. So
that's kind of how I felt too, like understanding and working with you on a deal, and then just working in the business. Is I was on top of that, uploading docs like, hey, I need you to do this. I was like same day delivery. So I understand that streamlines the process, and that makes it close, gets you closer to closing when you are on top of it like that. So we both bought at the end of 2025. But what are you seeing for 2026? What's the outlook? What's your thoughts on what's coming?
So
here locally, and I've been looking at a lot of national reports, and a lot of national reports are predicting just a steady 2026 with not super high year over year price growth, but just enough inventory to continue to grow. And then interest rates to continue to ease, nothing crazy where it's going to be like, oh my God, like it's freaking buyer frenzy, but it's going to be enough where people are going to be able to purchase. They're going to feel comfortable in getting in there, and they're going to feel comfortable in talking to a lender and just seeing what their options are. We're not predicting anything wild, guys, like back in the day. And we sound like broken records when we mention this, but it's true. But I'm expecting here locally, inventory will continue to stay steady compared to past years, and interest rates will hover, low sixes. Hopefully we get under the 5 at some, under 6 at some point. But I'm excited for this year, honestly.
I would say I kind of agree with you. 2026 is probably a year of just kind of resetting expectations. I think everybody has finally come to terms that we're not going to see 2020 and 2021 interest rates again, or pre-pandemic prices in the housing market. We finally settled into a point where prices aren't necessarily crashing, but they're also not rising at a completely astronomical rate like they were. We're slowly increasing back to kind of normal rates. Interest rates are slowly ticking down. We had a couple of rate cuts at the end of the year from the Federal Reserve, and they didn't quite have the impact that we're all hoping, because I mean they did, because if we look at 12 months ago what rates were versus what they are today, we're definitely in a better position. We've had a couple of rebound moments where we hit rock bottom on the 10-year Treasury as far as like at 395, but then we bounced back. I think right now today we're probably sitting at like 415, 417, something like that. So we've had a couple of rebound moments, and I think, but we're finally just at a moment where things are going well, and now people know what to expect, and they're finally settled into what the housing market is.
I love that you mentioned like people have an expectation now. It's not like expectations that are out of this world. They're like a little bit more realistic, and so hopefully we can continue to educate people like, look, this is what it is, let's put a plan in place, and let's just look forward to 2026, a good and strong year. So
I feel like the real estate market around here is just gonna have, we're gonna have a big year around here again. I think Boise is gonna continue to grow. It does not gonna take astronomical prices or astronomically low rates for us to have a good year in real estate around here. I think real estate market, or anybody who's in the real estate industry, myself, yourself, we're primed to have a good year. I think a lot of people have been sitting on the fence for too long. The demand for housing around here is still very high. People are still moving in here in groves from other states, other places around the country, and so I don't think the demand is going to slow down. I don't think inventory is at a place where we have an abundance of inventory yet. The new builders like CBH, Hayden, Hubble, all these guys, like they're trying to pump them out as quick as they can. And luckily, I think we have a little bit better inventory on the market now than we did last year.
Slightly.
But I think it's just finally time that things settle down a little bit and people get realistic. And I think that's going to play into our benefit, that the normal average everyday consumer isn't still waiting for 2.75 interest rates to come back.
I agree. And then just speaking on demand, that ties perfectly. There was like a recent study released that traffic in Boise and this Treasure Valley is just getting worse year over year. So tell us like your experience, because you work actually in Eagle, which is on one of the busiest roads, because Eagle Road's kind of close.
Yep.
So tell us your experience. Are you actually seeing like, is traffic actually getting worse, like from your experience?
Absolutely, I would say so. And I assume the people who are going to consume this podcast are people who are local around here and understand the area. But I live in Nampa. I work in Eagle.
Dude, that's like 2 hours.
Obviously, by choice, I bought in Nampa because Nampa has significantly lower prices than most of Ada County. If you're buying in Eagle, Meridian, Boise, you're going to pay a premium to live in those places. Nampa, I was able to buy a much more house for the same price.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and so I chose to live in Nampa, and so I understood what comes with that is the long drive. And from south side of Nampa, all the way south Nampa into Eagle, I mean, I've got a 50-minute drive most days, and some days it can turn into an hour and 15. Yeah. But there's a lot of good things coming. I mean, once we get the Highway 16 done,
that'll be nice.
That's going to be a big change. So 16's close. I feel like we're getting there. And so some of these things hopefully will ease, but I do think overall, we're behind the 8 ball a little bit.
Yeah,
we're behind the 8 ball a little bit. I think we grew at such a rapid pace that the infrastructure couldn't quite keep up, and so now we're struggling to get there. So, but let me paint that with just a little grain of salt as far as traffic here is nowhere near as bad as bigger cities. Right. If we talk about traffic from Portland, traffic from Seattle, traffic from LA, like we're very blessed. We're talking about traffic because we've lived here our entire lives, and we've lived in rural Idaho our entire lives, and so we're used to be able to look. The only traffic we see is getting behind a frickin' John Deere tractor out on the highway,
or just like Eagle Road,
Yeah, and so now because we have a lot more people coming in, we're starting to see the effects of it a little bit, but at the end of the day, like a 50-minute drive to get from one side of the valley to the other, because that's truly one opposite side of the valley to the other opposite side of the valley, is 50 minutes. Not that bad, man. And you could go from Boise to Homedale in about 50 minutes. And you could go from Parma to Boise in about 50 minutes. So there's not really anywhere in the valley that's even more than an hour away. Like, our valley has grown quite a bit, but we're not to the point where we're driving an hour and a half, 2 hours away to go to work.
Yeah, that's a really realistic and optimistic view. I'm going to be the negative Nancy. I absolutely hate it, man.
Yeah, because you want to live smack down in town.
But I have a good playlist in my car, so I'm like, I like being in there. We're just chilling, we're listening to good music, we're hanging out. But I actually live on 10 Mile, and 10 Mile is even getting bad now.
Oh, yeah.
They're building the district, which is going to be this big commercial space where a lot of big companies like Target are potentially moving in there.
I think Target's a slam dunk. I think they're already moving in.
Oh, yeah. And they're building the infrastructure, and that's across from Shields. And so 10 Mile might be, that's my prediction, 10 Mile Road might be the new Eagle Road in like 3 years. It's going to be...
Absolutely,
because, the village is on Eagle Road. And so for me, it's going to get worse. But, just like you said, we're growing. And so infrastructure has to catch up. And we have to start getting realistic. Like, traffic sucks. We're going to have to get used to it.
Yep. You know what I mean? Anybody wants to capitalize on that, though, 10 Mile is on the Meridian border. 10 Mile is still considered Meridian.
I know.
One more exit is Garrity, which is now Nampa. All of a sudden, that same $450,000 house that you buy on 10 Mile, you might be able to buy it for $375 right on Garrity. So
that's true. And even like Cuna is like just right there too. So like 10 Mile is kind of like in a cool location where you can go Cuna, Nampa in like less than 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah, I'm pushing Bryson. I'm hoping that we can, once our lease ends in Eagle, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but once our lease ends in Eagle, that we can maybe look for a place by the Shields. I'm hoping that we can move down there.
That would be cool.
It's just, it's not even just for me for the drive. It's to be central to my clients.
Right.
I have clients all over the valley in Canyon County type of thing that don't want to drive to Eagle. I got to tell them my office is in Eagle. They're like, where?
A far drive,
and I'm down there. I'm on State Street way down there. You know what I mean? So I'm helping anybody from Caldwell and they want to come meet me in the office. Yeah. I mean, it's a 50-minute drive for them too. So Maybe not quite. Maybe it's 40 minutes for those guys, but
it's still far.
But yeah,
it can feel far, especially like we're saying, like we're not used to this. So like if you're not used to driving so far,
I'm gonna start meeting clients in my in my new podcast.
Honestly, start meeting them here. I mean, you can set something up pretty nice, but
I don't know what the laws are actually. I don't know if as a loan officer if I'm allowed
plus,
to.
like bringing them to your house.
Yeah,
that can get a little weird. But
all of a sudden we don't close a loan and they come knocking on my door.
But now anyway, so now kind of switching gears is we've both lived here our whole lives, and we've seen the ins and flows of the weather, this and that. But people are on the internet are chattering, are we getting absolutely less snow than we've ever had in the past? Do you feel that way, or are we getting a really warm winter this year?
We've had a crazy warm December for sure. Yeah. I mean, anybody who the first thing you're going to read about when you come into Idaho is what's the weather. We get both extremes. Right? Yeah, we get all extremes. We get extreme heat in the summer. We get extreme cold in the winter. But man, and I'm a December baby, so I have a December birthday every year. I'm always worried about how cold it's going to be.
The snow, right?
But we've had one snowfall this year in the valley.
I mean, if you call that,
it wasn't even a real snowfall. Like it snowed for about 30 minutes and it was gone with 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
And we've had 50-degree weather basically all freaking month. Maybe even 60-degree. Right? Maybe even almost 60-degree weather all month.
On Christmas, we hit 61 degrees. Yeah, record-setting day.
Isn't that wild? 61 degrees on Christmas. Now, do you think that's going to set us up for a cold January, February? Like, I still hasn't hit. What are we on, January 7th?
It's starting to get colder.
It's starting to get a little bit colder. So maybe January, February, March. Maybe we get an extended winter into March.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I feel like is going to happen. I feel like our winters continue to extend, and so like the months that we would feel like are getting warmer, they're just cold and windy.
Yeah, and anybody who's not from here, they don't understand that we rely on a lot of that snowfall. Though we need that snowfall. What we have seen though is a lot of rain. So I don't know. I think we're still getting precipitation coming in. We're still getting a little bit of precipitation, but we do need the rain. We need those reservoirs filled so that we can hit up Lucky Peak, so that we can water our grass in the freaking heat. We're gonna end up losing water by September instead of October.
There is a lot of implications because if we don't get that snowfall, we don't get that rainfall, then potential drought concerns, what I mean? So hopefully that doesn't happen. I do hope it snows because I love the snow.
Yeah, me too,
and I actually kind of like driving in the snow.
Yeah, and
I don't mind it.
And all my winter sports aficionados, they can't do anything, man. No snowboarding, no snowboarding, no skiing, no snowmobiling right now.
That's what I'm saying. I can't even imagine like season pass holders for like bogus it's a big investment.
They're gotta be open at this point, though. Don't they have like artificial snow that they make? Or
they do, but it's it's not the same as when you're snowing in like fresh powder. You know what I mean? I'm not a big snowboarder or anything, but I know that that's something you look forward to when it's snowing. You're there.
Yeah,
it's active.
Yeah, Bryson went snowmobiling. I think he went up to maybe Baker or maybe he was in McCall, but he was able to find some snow to go snowmobiling. But yeah, that's one of the things that people are missing out on a little bit this year is having the opportunity to partake in some of those winter sports.
Yeah, totally. And I remember. I mean, it seems like every time people say this that we're gonna have a winter like we did 9 years ago, where it was like absolute
the snowmageddon that everybody refers to.
Yeah, but ever since that, there hasn't been really a crazy winter like that. It's been kind of just like mellow, sometimes mild.
We're gonna hit the back.
Maybe next year,
all of a sudden we're gonna get.
Well, I'm knocking on wood, so we're good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would honestly, I would appreciate a little bit of snow before the winter's over. Like I like the snow a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun.
It does make for a little craziness out there driving because of all the California drivers, but
California or the other state drivers, I don't know how. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So we just talked about like real estate, our local area, what's happening right now as of January. But now let's switch to a topic that maybe other listeners will enjoy. We're both big sports fans. This guy's got a big 49ers thing on his wall, so I know
I had to put it up for you, bro.
I'm a big LA Rams fan. I gotta shout out the Rams.
Are you buying the favoritism right now? Are you buying that you're the Super Bowl favorite?
No. I stay humble.
You got a lot of people on your jock right now. Everybody's jumping on that bandwagon, trying to say the Rams are coming.
Well, we are playing the Panthers, and then maybe Seattle. But anyways, I want to get some predictions.
What a joke! I wanted that 5 seed so bad, so I could play the Panthers, and now I got to travel to Philly instead.
Yeah,
come on.
I know. I have a lot of 49ers fans who were mad about that. But all right, let's do predictions. Just give me who you think the winner will be, and then I'll give you my predictions. So. LA versus Carolina, first game of the wild card weekend. Who's taking that?
I hate to say it, but LA's got to take that, man.
Okay.
I know Carolina beat him a couple weeks ago, but Matthew Stafford had like the worst game. He had like a fumble, he had a pick six, he had all kinds of craziness going on. Yeah. So I don't think there's any way Stafford plays as bad as he played that game, and now it's playoff time.
Yeah,
so
I agree with that.
It's ready to rock and roll. I think they should beat him by double digits.
Double digits? Okay.
10 points.
Okay, bet. This one's going to be a lot closer, I think, than most people think. Green Bay versus the Bears.
They had a hell of a matchup just a few weeks back. It hasn't even been that long that they had a nail biter there towards the end. And I mean, you saw what my Niners did to Chicago. That was a crazy game too. So
best Sunday night game of the year.
Yeah, that one was fun. So I see it as being a good game. Honestly, that's one of the ones I do see as more of a toss-up, even though it's the 7 seed versus the 2 seed. Yeah. I can see the Bears losing that game, but I don't think they will. I do think the Bears will win that game.
And then this one's going to be a sneaky good matchup. Bills versus Jags.
Oh, man. This one's tough. We lost to the Jags early in the year, so I know how good the Jags are.
Look good.
But Josh Allen and the Bills, man, they're looking good. Trevor Lawrence is looking good on the other side, though. So that one's probably going to be the best game of the weekend, honestly. Okay. I would say, man, the Bills are probably going to be my prediction on that one.
Bills?
Bills by 3. That's going to be a little bit tighter.
Okay, I like that. So now to the game that you're probably going to be rooting for a lot. Niners, Eagles. Be realistic though, right here.
We talked about this before the podcast even started, man. You know how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him to win, but I'm sick to my stomach after the Seattle game. I think our Super Bowl hopes and our playoffs hopes really hinged on being able to secure that 1 seed, and the Seattle really exposed us for not being able to have any sort of answer for the run. We scored 3 total points, and that's what our whole team has been unbalanced because we have no defense and we've been relying on our offense.
Right.
And we're just so banged up without Trent Williams and Ricky Pearsall, and it's going to be a tough matchup. And you know what's been fun though is the Philly-San Francisco. We're not that much of a rivalry as far as like long historical, but I would say that's been one of the most fun rivalries in the NFL. Yeah, man, I think Philly fans hate us and we hate Philly, bro. We hate Philly. Speaking of, tell me, I don't even know that the Rams have that big of a passionate rivalry, but are we your number one rivalry?
For me, the Niners, Eagles are my top. Like,
I feel like the Niners have so many. Like, we have the Cowboys from back in the day.
That's true.
We have the Seahawks because we've had so many division battles lately. Yeah, like and lately we've had Philly. We had maybe Detroit for a little bit the last few years because we had some pretty competitive matchups in the playoffs. But I don't feel like the Rams have that many like true rivalries. Yeah. Minus maybe in the division with the Seahawks and the Niners.
I would add the Eagles to that list because they've just always beat us.
Whooped your ass a few times.
They do, but these last 2 times we played them.
See, but I don't trust Philly all that much either. Though their offense has not been clicking.
Sputtered.
But their defense is pretty damn good, and Seattle exposed us. So if
Seattle's like Seattle.
Yeah, and if we don't have our top guys back, like we're gonna have another outpouring just like we had against Seattle. Like we're in for a tough Sunday.
Yeah, but anyways,
did you have the same picks or what?
No, I still haven't. We still haven't finished the prediction. So you got to give me your Chargers Patriots game.
Pats.
Okay, and then Texans Steelers.
Steelers because I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. Do I think he's going to win? Maybe not, but I'm going to put my money on Rodgers. I would love to see Rodgers win a playoff game.
Right.
How cool would that be with the season that they've had and barely sneaking into the playoffs and just and being able to win a playoff game at this age? Like, good for him. I hope he gets one done.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool. But I don't know. So I'm gonna start from that and then make my way up. So from that game, I'm gonna take the Texans. That defense is just,
that's fair though.
And I think the offense is waking up at the right time. And then Chargers, Patriots. Give me the Patriots.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think of Drake, mate? You think he's real?
Oh yeah,
you think he's a stud or what?
He's real.
He's already top 10. He's already a top 10 quarterback already right now today.
I gotta have one more year of this type of season.
Okay,
and then we'll put him in the top 10. I think he's top 15, top 12, easy.
I could probably see that. Yeah,
like I can
see that
up to par or better than like Brock Purdy.
Oh, get out of here!
I'm just saying,
Purdy's a solid 7.
He's a good pick.
Purdy's a solid number 7.
I think Drake May is more talented than like Jared Goff.
I think so too.
But yeah, so that's that game. And then Niners Eagles. I think the Eagles will lose. Actually,
really, you're gonna give me some love,
dude. I honestly hate to say this. Like the words coming out of my mouth.
It might be.
Bad.
Everybody's picking Philly right now, so it might just be that kind of year where Niners got one more showing. If we beat the Eagles, do we play the Rams second round?
Nope. If you guys beat the Eagles, you guys play Seattle, and then I go play.
We play Seattle number 1. They would play the 6 because we would be the lowest remaining seed.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless the Packers beat the Bears.
Exactly.
So I got to root for the Packers to beat the Bears.
And that's why
I got to root for.
So I'm honestly rooting for you guys because I don't want to play Seattle at Lumen Field again. And I know we can beat them there, but I just want to.
But you're gonna have to play them there no matter what.
NFC Championship. I'd rather do that then.
No matter what, you're going to Lumen Field.
Yeah, but I got Niners barely edging them out. I think that offense plays much better than Seattle. That defense is not as good as Seattle. It's good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but Seattle's number 1.
Yeah.
Philly's top 10, so there could be wrinkle. And if it wasn't for McCaffrey dropping that touchdown,
oh my lord! Don't even remind me.
That's what I'm saying. So, Jags, Bills, give me the Jags. I think they're the better team.
They might
Trevor's
be.
playing.
They might be.
Trevor's balling, dude.
I rarely bet against Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen is an animal.
But I'm a hater of the Bills because I have a friend who might have something to say about this. But Bears, Packers. If Jordan Love plays, it's gonna be tighter. But if he doesn't, I got the Bears, and then obviously my Rams. Shout out the Rams.
Get out of here.
But,
I mean, you're getting all the love right now. As far as I see the analyst picks, everybody's on the Rams right now. Everybody thinks the Rams are a Super Bowl favorite, even though they didn't get the number 1 seed.
Yeah, it could be like Rams, Bills in the Super Bowl, Rams.
I just have.
I don't know who else, man.
Even in the second round, so say you don't have to play Seattle in the second round, you're playing the winner of the 2-7.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably playing Chicago. You wouldn't play the winner of the 2-7. You would play Chicago if they win.
Yep.
And so,
which I'm down.
Yeah, that's a good matchup for you.
I'm down.
So I would say, okay, so you're right. You definitely want Chicago over Seattle.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Seattle's a damn good team, and they beat us both. So
if we lose and the Packers lose, you have to play Seattle next round.
Yeah,
because you're the lowest remaining seed. You're number 5.
Correct. Yeah.
So
I'm not. It is what it is if we play them. But I want
you're gonna
the easiest
have to play
path.
Yeah. You're gonna have to play them.
Oh yeah.
You're just gonna make it. You just want one step for. You just want to delay it. Delay it. Get one more down.
Yeah. But
no,
I'm
so the Bears though. Bears are. You can manage the Bears. I think you can manage the Bears, and then that would be a fun.
Seattle's a toss-up game.
A fun championship game against the Seahawks. That'd be a lot of fun. So then I won't get to play both of you guys then in the playoffs. Like, say we make a miracle run, we beat Philly.
We'd see.
I would only get to see either one or the other in the NFC Championship game.
Right. Which I think it's going to be one of the 3 that goes to the Super Bowl. So.
Well, actually, no. I might see Seattle next week, the following week, if we do.
If you guys win.
Yeah, if we win and Green Bay loses.
Yeah.
So, but maybe go Green Bay. Let's go, Jordan Love.
I think you guys can take the Seahawks. You guys just had a really off game.
I think Green Bay was looking hella good throughout the year before Micah Parsons too. Is Jordan Love out still?
I think so, maybe.
Yeah, but before Micah Parsons went down too, they were looking good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
they were looking like Super Bowl favorites.
Well, you have anything left for the day or what?
No, that's it. I think this was a good comeback episode. We had some really good conversations, and I look forward to the next one, dude.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. Peace out. Thanks for listening, everybody.